know, I just start now. You know what I mean? Like, I have the baby, get married, whatever happens next, you know, go get my own crib. But like there was no guideline for me, really. Like, I didn't have, you know, the structure or
I was saying that the other day.
the guidance to like do it the right way.
At that point in time, honestly, like, it's kind of like how I am now. Like, I was just an open book. Like, whoever would be willing to really talk and listen and try to help me out.
Right now, I feel like we all have this, well, I can't speak for anybody else, but this instant gratification thing. And my biggest issue is that I will start some shit and not finish it.
And still, I feel no pressure. Surrounded by dogs, giving you game, we giving you lecture. Say thank you to God, we got another day to be better. And if it get hard, just need another day with the fellas. We about to give you that work. Say your name in like it's church. We finna give you that work. Just like Serena, we serve. You want the truth by your shirt. My phone get fly like birds. But we all lost boys, no search.
Welcome to another episode of the Nun The Wizer podcast.
Hey,
We're here with the gang. We got my dog here, Sir Trippington. Yes, that's the guy, Trip.
Yes, sir.
You got my guy to my left. Podcast Poe in the building, handling the ones and twos on the audio.
sir.
And then you got me, of course, your gracious host, Walk. Appreciate you guys. Don't
actually, since you were talking about this topic, how'd you guys feel about this whole Diddy situation?
Oh, God.
I was gonna say Diddy and Cassie, but it's turned out to be
situation at this
more
point.
than
It's a Diddy situation for sure. I believe it.
I believe that Cassie is honest in her her complaints. I feel, and I want to make sure I'm saying the right things here because I would like to get to at least episode 10. I feel that I just wish it would have got drawn out a little longer. Now, I understand from her purview, it's like, yo, I don't want to sit here and have to relive all this through depositions and all that crap, but it's just like, I hate the fact that it got settled so quick that people are like automatically considering it a money grab. And that's not to say it wasn't, but it's just like, I just would want to have seen him have to like really like own up to that versus just paying his way out of it.
right. And I think that a lot of people misunderstand like the court system and how those things happen.
Yeah.
But the reality of the situation is just about anything you can settle outside of court.
Absolutely.
Instead of going all the way, like from child support to whatever, like you could literally, yeah. So with that being said, I don't think that takes away from we're seeing now.
The fact that he settled so quick was like,
no, it was telling. That was very telling.
He did that shit.
What I'm trying to say is it doesn't take away from the fact that now, after she put him out, because, I mean, it's been rumors here and there, and first of all, nothing to this level, like, of severity, right? It's always been like, Diddy might be gay, he might be
bisexual,
maybe he has something to do with Tupac's death, or something like that, that's a big deal if it's obviously death, but what I'm saying is her putting a spotlight on him now and getting the bag and then going to the left now. Since then, it's been what, 2-3 other people?
3 other people
that's come forward.
And that was in a week.
So I say that, and then let's not even just hold on, because aside from people, then we got the what do you want to call it? The spinoffs, right? The spinoffs. So you got the Kid Cudi situation.
Yep, the Wale situation.
The Drake now.
I'm sorry. What?
The Drake situation, him and Drake, him putting hands on Drake.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which obviously paints a bigger picture to the type of person that.
I thought you said Drake was assaulting people. I'm like, oh, shit.
No. So all of these people that we mentioned, Diddy has supposedly assaulted.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
The teacher at the coach at UCLA.
I mean, we've seen that video, so.
But yeah, anyhow, I don't want to like spend too much time specifically on Diddy, but more so those kinds of people, because it's everyday people, and literally how we overlooked, certain sus characteristics that Diddy has had. Some of the videos we've seen with him and Cassie, her on the floor, whatever. Like, we literally overlook
I think
the
those
people that are sitting right next to us.
I don't think it's overlooking more so than it's like there wasn't much context, right? So it could have been just like, I don't want to wake up this morning, it's so bright outside. Like, there's so many ways you could look at that until...
But I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw the video in reference, the Cassie video on the floor, the first thing that I thought was, why the fuck is he recording her on the floor under blankets? It, like, I'm not a dumbass nigga. Like, something's weird about this situation. But we skipped over. I'm not going to keep saying we, but I skipped over it and just, it continued. It was another day, whatever. But, like, yeah. I'm saying that to say, again, it'd be people sitting right next to us, not you guys, but the other people.
I was like, what you know?
What you right? Shit.
Who told you some shit?
That's crazy.
But yeah, just so you know, I'm not a domestic abuser, ladies and gentlemen. So what was your feeling about that?
He did it. That's all I have. Like I mean, from the beginning, when the allegations first came out, I didn't doubt it for a second. Just I mean, going back to his God complex, like pertaining to what was that thing that he did, the show he had when he was making a band?
Oh yeah, making a band.
Happy with walking for cheesecake, and I can't compare the cheesecake to this, right? But I'm saying, like, just that complex, that like I'm the king, I can do whatever I want, and you got to do it because I said so.
Yeah,
we've seen that countless times from him.
Yeah, I think that just speaks to power dynamics in general.
Yeah,
where it's just like people really take advantage of what they think is power over people, and it's like, it just sucks for women specifically that they come out later because they're scared or what have you, and now they're questioning their validity because
I hate that.
You know what I mean? It just sucks because it's like we've all had some kind of experience that we're probably not comfortable sharing for whatever reason or the other, and then when we come to this whatever come to Jesus moment or whatever what have you, where we're willing to share that moment, it doesn't make it any less valid.
Right.
It's just this is the time I felt comfortable saying it. So it's like, it sucks that, I mean, obviously when there's money involved, it's like it comes off, it looks like that, but it's like, nigga, you owe me. Like, you screwed up my career, me being with you, like, slowed down my career. Like, I feel
and
like...
then the damages.
Yeah,
like, that's the other part that I was saying to somebody, like, first of all, her career completely took a bad hit with this whole situation, which... none of us knew exactly why, but like
why she disappeared.
You disappeared, and you was at the. Come on, that first album, and then the Me and Yous, and what's the other one? Got a Long Way to Go.
Oh yeah,
like the top of pop.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and then just gone. Right?
Do you guys? Hey, my fault.
No, go ahead. No.
Do you guys put any of this into like Ryan Leslie disappearing? Because Ryan Leslie had a relationship with Cassie
first,
prior to Diddy.
You think he got blackballed?
Yes. He doesn't even put music. I think that he's seen too much.
I think that's very much so a thing. And then for him, he's in tech right now, so it made far more sense for him to just maybe good on this side.
Yeah.
But I think we just got to sit back and wait for him to speak. I think there's a lot of people.
I know he was hurt when Cassie left and went with Diddy because he worked close with Bad Boy.
See, I'm not aware of that. So
no, he definitely did work close with Bad Boy. I don't know.
So it's like, it's kind of weird. I don't know, just something to throw out there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What y'all think in the comments?
Right, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Nah, that's because that's crazy. But it's like
the rabbit hole.
We all know Diddy to like kind of snatch careers from people because one of the biggest people that were kind of like anti Diddy is what's her name, Aubrey O'Day.
Yeah.
She's
been
like,
very vocal.
I told you, like, I've been saying this for years, and now all of it's kind of coming to the light, and it's like, people try to invalidate her as well, but it's like, all right.
But I do want to be fair, right? Specifically because there are two sides to every coin. So as much as people shouldn't be invalidated for speaking out so long after, we do have to be fair and just see the other side, which is motherfuckers be lying.
No, that's a fact.
So
absolutely.
I do think that we should obviously take heed to the information that's out there and allow for evidence to be put in front of us or whatever. because
Settle
otherwise,
that quick. Ain't gonna be much evidence to.
well, there's going to be other people.
No,
and that's
there's
just
already other people.
We've seen this happen too many times. Like it's never just a one-off situation.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that some people won't be lying, right? There probably will be a few. I've even heard there's this thing. I don't know if I want to call it a conspiracy theory or whatever, but there's a thing where people who are in this position that Diddy is currently in, the R. Kellys, the whoever's, they're paying, or their lawyers or whatever, their attorneys, their defense team, whatever you want to call it, are paying people to come out and say, oh, this and that happened, just so that I can get discredited, go through the court system, it gets dropped or whatever, and it hurts the
defense or whatever.
Yeah, or it helps them.
Yeah.
It helps them.
So it's like defamation kind of.
Yeah, it's like, if Cassie comes out, and then 3 other people come out, and those 3, it's like, okay, they lied. It's like, well,
so
maybe she lied too.
Exactly.
It takes away some of that,
the credibility,
the blow. Yeah. So that was a weird aspect to look at as well.
I would pray that in my lifetime that I have never will deal with 20 years from now something being misconstrued as me abusing anyone. Cause that's like if you're abusing someone, hopefully that shit comes to the light. You get your day in court or some kind of like accountability to be held for you. But it would suck if you didn't do that shit and you got to defend yourself on some shit you didn't do. That is terrible.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, still up for debate.
Is it?
Absolutely.
I heard, didn't she?
It didn't get handled. It's still in court, so
okay.
I don't want to say too much. But I mean, it's looking favorable for him. But I don't want to say too much about that. Damn, I just had something I was about to say. Dang. Thank you guys. You know that never helps though. It makes you.
It's worse. Now you feel pressure. It's like, oh shit, I ain't really getting taken.
Well, I can talk about something else. You just mentioned like the whole waiting a long time, and then finally getting the courage or whatever. I think that's something for us to really speak on because, like you said, I think we've all experienced something where it's like. Maybe right then and now, you didn't have the courage to or you didn't even want to, per se. Let's not even speak about courage.
I can even speak to myself about just awareness of, oh, this happened to me, and I didn't even know it was a bad thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just
there's so many different aspects,
there's so many aspects to address that on.
And the thing with Cassie specifically is that we got to keep in mind she was 19 when she met Diddy. She was still a child damn near. Like,
crazy.
So... Imagine the money, the power. Mm-hmm. Again, she's not the first.
Right.
So this is a whole, again, network of people who are conspiring to whatever you want to call it. I don't really want to go into like all of that, but like it's a lot. And when people are like, oh, well, why'd you wait this long? Well, until you're in a position like that where, you're faced with a monster that big. It's like it's tough.
But I would also like to address. So apparently there was a law, and the law was actually about to be like kind of overturned in I think it was in New York. Mm-hmm. And she had basically a window of opportunity to actually put that lawsuit through.
I know the law. I think it's like the Survivor.
Yeah, exactly. Survivors like Act or something New York, of that nature. So. So she definitely had a window to work in too. So that's also another thing where it's like people are looking at it from a time perspective. It's like that ain't in my control.
Yeah,
like what the hell? I left my phone at home, so I don't remember what our topic switched to. So you got to help me out.
No problem.
Not at home.
Yo, Vonnie, I took a picture of some pancakes that was made yesterday.
Let me see. Just
to show you how the edges. Give me 1 second.
You know you love flapjack. You know you love a good flapjack.
Light skin ass pancakes.
That's true.
We talking.
Nah, they don't be light skin though.
Nah, nigga, we saw them shit.
Which is the worst part? It's like, how did you not do you not use butter? Like, what do you cook your pancake with?
Nah, let me see
the topic is gonna be any advice you'd give yourself 15 years ago and why.
Run, nigga, run. No, it's play.
These pancakes though.
Nah, swing that.
Yeah, I need
swing me that.
Let me see.
Yeah, let me see. This is a goddamn pancake, ladies and gentlemen. This is a pancake. We'll show you the picture. You gotta send me this picture so I can put it on the podcast. Because god damn it, that's a pancake. That shit you be making, a disgrace. Watch them hate.
If you can't take the knife and rub it across the top,
and what?
Yeah,
look crispy.
That's not
you
a
make
pancake.
them IHOP pancakes, and that's okay.
No, that's what I said. But like,
me.
I'm saying like presentation matters too.
No, bro.
When you go out to eat, if they just throw some shit on the plate, you gonna eat it?
We're talking about your pancake.
Or does presentation
now you're
matter?
talking about outside sources.
All right.
Your pancake.
These look good.
Those are pancakes.
Those are pancakes.
This is my childhood. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, exactly. Because your mom clearly knew how to make pancakes. Clearly did not pass that down to you.
My mom prefers my pancakes to hers.
There's no way.
I promise you.
There's no way. There's no way that she prefers her pancakes.
She just prefers you cooking and her not have to cook.
I don't have to do it. She's like, damn, I ain't teaching. Because
that's crazy.
All right, so we know the topic of today's discussion is what is the advice that you would give yourself 15 years ago?
Yeah.
So first off, let's give our ages of what 15 years ago is. I will not start first.
Yes, you will.
No, I will not, because I am too old for this shit. How old were you 15 years ago? God damn.
14, about to be 15.
Oh my God, I was a whole adult. Go ahead.
I don't even remember. I think like 17.
How you be don't just do the math?
I did. That was hard.
I was too old. I was 21.
Sheesh, nigga was grown.
Wait,
You
what?
ain't telling yourself shit then.
That's crazy.
No, I mean, first off, that was around the time where we were in a recession. And I didn't really understand what a recession was, right? So I was working with people that were like making hundreds of thousands of dollars, like selling cars and doing everything. And now you're my boss as a concierge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so first off, I worked with a lot of miserable people. It just wasn't a fun time for anyone back then. But I didn't really understand it because like I was growing up in that time.
Right.
It wasn't something that I experienced. Like I didn't lose a 401k or any of that stuff. But for me, my advice to myself would be drop out of school earlier. And I know that sounds crazy.
No, we'll hear. We're listening.
For me, I was very introverted in high school. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like any of it. And I still wound up getting my GED anyway. So if I would have just dropped out earlier, got my GED, I could have moved faster when I still had the motivation to still be learning and all that stuff. Because right now, it's like everything is like very much a task. Like, you know what I'm saying? Back then, it just seemed like it flowed.
Right.
But
Especially being right
yeah,
out
just, you know, so I just wish that if I was more aware and in control, I would have just kind of rolled that out. Because literally a GED and a high school diploma is the same thing. But I could have got to avoid all the people that I hated and
Right.
experience sucked. I did not enjoy high school at all. So that's one thing. 2, patience. I fucked up so much of my credit between the ages of 21 and 25. Just signing on the dotted line, just not being aware, even going to college. Like I went to college when I was 22 and I got all these loans and like, I'm just like, oh, this is the way I'm going to get into school. I'm still paying off those loans at 36. So it's just like, I would have not done that. I would have not went to the best school. I would have went to the best school for me. It's just, you know, like you just learn so much about yourself and a lot of it's not about yourself. It's just about just being a lot more responsible. So those are some of the things that I would say for myself. Yeah.
Definitely think of some more because I think this is a topic that we can kind of go back to back on.
And I'm pretty sure as you guys talk, I'll be like, oh,
More's gonna pop up for sure.
I'll go next then.
Age?
Told you 14, about to be 15.
Oh, Lord. Child.
Honestly,
Children.
I probably would have told myself the first thing, damn. Oh, shit. Yeah, I probably would have told myself to listen to my mom. What's going on? Hey, I don't know. They love doing that. That's gonna be a thing. Watch.
Listen to your mom.
Yeah.
About what?
I love
Not to have a child so young. That is definitely I could have, man, listen. We're gonna just move on to the next one.
Before you move on, how do you think having a child that young affected how you navigated through life? Like,
Yeah, actually, I thank you for asking that, because that probably leaving it off right there might sound a little like, what the fuck?
it's like I hate my kid.
Yeah.
And before
I do sometimes
navigating
know
through
something.
life, also developing still as a child.
Yeah, so I felt like I had to grow. I mean, at that point, I was already damn near all of my parents' dad. Like, I was already promoted to man of the house at that point. So it was kind of like already, to an extent, the life that I've been living for a while. But I had to grow up like a lot quicker. I wanted to go to prom. That didn't happen.
So no prom. I didn't go to prom.
No college dorm like I dreamed of. And I'm not saying that this is specifically because of having a kid, but like realistically, I just had to look at things a lot differently.
Yeah, it's just different focuses because you have a child.
Yeah, so money. And not just because of the child, but like, again, I'm working, whatever the case is, money just naturally, you got to take care of your kid and stuff like that. So saving wasn't necessarily that big for me. Relationships, obviously, her mom, like that in itself took a toll on which direction my life went. And yeah.
Before I get to you, let's keep it on him for a second. So I'm going to challenge this question. I'm going to reverse it a little bit, right? So our question was, what advice would you give to someone from 15 years ago? What do you think you were saying? You're almost 30. So I'm imagining you were like, yo, when I'm 30, I'm going to have this. Like, how far off were you?
At 14, 15, honestly, I don't even think that I was thinking that far ahead, to be honest. I remember a few conversations with my stepfather where he would tell me, like, yo, if you just do the right things, you focus in school, you go to school, by the time you're 25 instead of, 45 or 40 or whatever age he was at that moment, you could be living a certain life, living this way, be done with school, have your finances, whatever. Right. That's as far as that went. Like,
but it wasn't like a thought process that you would,
like, even, and I know I'm about to go out to the left real quick, but even like the whole idea of what do you want to be when you get older, like that was not something that was in my mind. Okay. It's not something that was at the forefront. And when everyone would be asking, now the teachers would be asking us, I'm listening to everybody else say doctor, football player, basketball player, police officer. I'm just like, football sounds nice. Like I never really.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing.
Nah.
Yeah. I feel that.
If anything, though, I would say maybe being like financially well off. And I'm well off.
Yeah. I'm well off of being financially. I'll try. All right, so your story. You're 17.
17.
And you got to talk to your 17-year-old self, and you're like, "Hey, bro."
I would have told myself at 17, slow down. Like, for some reason, I always wanted to grow up fast. I always wanted to, and I always felt I was an old soul. Like from young, so I always felt more mature than my peers. So like I was thinking about having a family at 17. Like I got married at 18. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like I was already kind of gearing toward that, and I would have told myself like, bruh, slow.
You was thinking that younger than that, wasn't you?
Yeah.
So all right, you're thinking about a family. I would imagine if you're thinking about a family, how far in the future are you thinking ahead? If you're thinking about a family, right? Like, okay, I'm 18, I'm thinking about a family. Are you thinking what your family's going to look like in 10 years, in 5 years?
Nope. That was where I lacked maturity, obviously. It was more so like, if I just, I just start now, you know what I mean? Like, I have the baby, get married, whatever happens next, you know, go get my own crib. But like there was no guideline for me really. Like I didn't have, you know, the structure or
I was saying that the other day.
yeah, the guidance to like do it the right way. Yo, take your time. If she's the one, she'll be there in 5 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or 2 years or however long. But like for me, it was like, nah, if I want it, do it now. He said, I can get married to her now. What's the difference between now and 5 years? I'm gonna get married anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know. I would just tell myself, yo, bro, patience, relax, slow down. Because bro, I had to grow up so quick, and not as quick as you, obviously, but I had to grow up so quick. It was just like there are times now I look at my kids and I'm super happy that
I just in the middle of you saying that, it's funny that we say like we had to grow up so quick.
Yeah.
When you are forced to have to grow up so quick, you miss so much growing up.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. The irony of it.
The irony, right?
Yeah, because like for me, I'm like, I'm growing up quick. I'm trying to go get married. I'm trying to blah, blah. But like, I didn't go to prom, bro. Same thing. Like I didn't go to prom. I didn't go to college. I didn't really want to. But like, I didn't know who I was. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, bro, like I can't give somebody all of me and not really know who I am. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it sounds all right, because for me,
lighten it up because
I know,
a little emotional.
I ain't got no tissues or nothing, but
I got tissues somewhere.
over there,
Yeah,
right?
I'm probably gonna need some. Cause
for me, like I actually thought by 30 I'd have some type of better structure. Like I actually decided, like, I'm gonna plan ahead. I was raised by my grandparents, so you talk about growing up fast. Because you're responsible for doing everything for old people. Like, not to say that they weren't self-sufficient. Like these people were very much like doing their thing, but it's just shit. Like I would remember like on the first of the month, all the kids were like outside playing and stuff, and I knew that was my time to be on the bus, like paying Rent-A-Center, paying the light bill, standing in line in Comcast or Comcast back then. And it was just like, by the time I get back home, it's like 6 p.m. Everybody's like going in the house, and I'd be like, I fucking hate this. This is not how my life's supposed to be. And like, my mother was drug addicted, so I would also have to just do responsible stuff like forge her name to get health insurance. I even had to get her health insurance, like because my grandparents were older. When I went to high school, like. And this was after I moved back from North Carolina. They weren't able to they didn't have cars at the time, so they weren't able to go to the school committee to sign me up.
Right.
So I went, and it was this woman named Gloria. I'll never forget her. Like I went 3 different times, and they're like, "You're not old enough to sign yourself up for school." I'm like, "Yo, how about if you call my grandmother and we do a call?" And she was so impressed by the fact that I was really trying to go to school. I actually wound up interning for her, so that was a cool thing. But it's just I just had to figure all this shit out on my own. So,
bro, that was beautiful. And
sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. And the thing is but I always wanted to be by 30, be financially stable. And my grandmother always wanted a house. She would always talk about oh, I want a house for my kids. And I always thought that I would be in a space to knock on her door on her birthdays and just drop some keys in her hand. So I always felt damn, I let her down. And I didn't do it because first off, I still suck with money. I'm not great. I'm not as terrible as I used to be, but it's not that easy to come by. And
that's a fear that I have too, though.
Yeah, and
my grandmother.
Yeah, and I love your grandmother as well. So it's
Facts. Shout out to grandma, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out Nana.
I was about to say, she'll cuss you out.
What for saying grandma?
Yeah,
she don't play that. She just told Noah the other day, I'm not grandma.
Yeah.
I'm like, sheesh, Nana.
She know I love her though.
But, yeah, it was just all those things that, and I'm an only child, right? So it's I don't share any of this stuff with my siblings or anything. It was just yo, I really wanted to do that for my grandmother. And it was just not something that was feasible because I was still trying to figure it out. And I'm doing it with people that have never experienced college.
Right.
My grandmother dropped out in the 6th grade. My mother dropped out in the 6th grade. You know what I mean? So I was the first one to go to college, and all this stuff. It was just different. So I'm just I gotta be that beacon to create these moments, and I didn't. So I was kind of felt like a failure.
So what would you say is something else that you with keeping in mind what you just said, something else that you would have benefited from being?
I would just say
17,
like being a little bit more patient. Like even right now, I feel like we all have this. Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but this instant gratification thing. And my biggest issue is that I will start some shit and not finish it. Like I'm fine with it being a slow grind and no grinds. But yeah, it was just something where I was just always like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start college. Then I dropped out. Oh, I'm gonna start another college. Then I dropped out.
Yeah.
Start another college.
Shit, I've been at 5.
Yeah, so it's just like, nigga, like
I didn't even know that.
Point, yeah, at some point you gotta like really figure it out. And it's just like, it's really one of those things where it's like you just gotta stick it out. Like consistency is really
like that.
key.
Stick it out.
Yeah, like consistency is really key. And
Not you, Diddy.
Most people don't realize like a lot of people when you like applying for jobs and stuff and they're like, do you have a degree? The degree is not what they're really looking for. It's the consistency. Are you able to stay in an institution for 4 years and complete it? That's what they're looking for. They don't want somebody that's going to be switching 100 jobs. If you can't stay consistent within your own education that you're paying for, I don't want to hire you.
Right.
Like a lot of people don't realize that they're coming from that aspect. So it's not like they really care about your master's.
Or even the credit aspect.
Yeah, even that. It's literally like half of it is like being on time. Like I think 70% of your utilization is just paying your shit on time.
It's 30.
Was it 30?
30, yeah. I literally just seen it last night too.
But you feel what I'm saying? It's like 30 is a
Yeah.
lot for your credit utilization. But to get back on point, it's just like a lot of it's just being consistent with the shit that you say you're gonna do.
It might even be less.
And I just know that I've dropped the ball in so many aspects that I would just tell my younger self, get your shit together. The fun isn't going anywhere. You don't have to have all of these faux experiences of life when you really can't afford them. I was wearing Ed Hardy hats and Ed Hardy sneakers, spending my whole paycheck trying to fit in with a crowd that I don't even deal with anymore.
That's what I was gonna say too. My next thing I would say is that I would tell myself back when I was younger is like not to.
He was trying to avoid saying these numbers.
I ain't that old, bro. But I'm just saying, like, is trying to fit in or people pleasing. You know, my mom always told me there's no future in people pleasing, and I people pleased the hell out of my younger self. Like, I always felt like, I don't know, like I was gonna lose somebody, so I had to like be like, you know, I was always cool, but I mean, like I just kind of like accepted a lot of bullshit for the sake of keeping people around.
Do you think that losing your dad as young, or was it prior to even? I don't remember.
Nah, I mean, no, because I mean, my dad passed when I was 1, so I didn't really.
Yeah, but that's a loss, whatever way that you want to see it.
I think honestly, it's about to take a left turn, but like I feel like it has a lot more to do with my mom and the abuse that she went through, and the fact that she continued to go back to the same person. That I felt like my tolerance for bullshit was just top tier.
Okay.
So it was like, yo, like if somebody did something wrong to me and they apologized, it was cool. All right, cool. Just said sorry. I appreciate it. Thank you. But then it's like, they happen again and happen again. And I'm like, yo, like, and now I'm almost pleading for them to stay, or like, yo, I just don't want you to. It's like, dog, like,
there's no future in
It's
that.
gonna be a sad ass episode.
I didn't know. That's why I said we could do a fun pod. We could do.
We just said we could do a fun pod.
We could have did Q&A. We could have did.
I mean,
Would you rather?
I mean, we obviously definitely said we were gonna speak and be more vulnerable. It's tough to like, cause it's crazy how much your trauma and experiences, like we always look at it as a bad thing, but it's like that's where all our wisdom comes from. It's a fact, you know what I mean?
It's a fact.
All our wisdom comes from the fact that we experience shit that maybe we shouldn't have experienced, maybe at the age we have, but at some point we were going to experience it anyway. Some stuff. Maybe not like, and I challenge you guys, because remember we were having a conversation about, since we'll add a little fun to it. Actually, it's not that fun. But we were having a conversation about the 3 universal bads. We said lying, cheating, and stealing. Make sense out of this, because you were also on here talking about.
Caleb hit some.
Let me ask you this: how you feel about rape?
wrong.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. I wanted to make sure any facet is, rape makes sense only if, no, because they are universal wrongs, fair to say?
Yes.
Rape is a universal wrong.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to add that because it just popped into my head. And I just wanted to make sure that we were all having some decent moral compasses here.
Oh, come on. I mean,
I'm not gonna get...
That was the topic. I mean, we don't even gotta go.
Yeah.
We don't even gotta go. That was my point, is that we all know right from wrong. And we can sit here and we can play the game all we want. Yeah. Oh, well, in 1840, like, yeah, that sounds great, but nigga, we here now. But yeah, no. I got another point that I would have told myself 15 years ago, 14, 15 years old. Seek therapy a lot sooner.
Question, did you graduate high school?
No, I got my GED.
Okay. How do you feel about that? Do you wish you graduated or do you wish you got your GED earlier? Like, what was your experience like in high school? For
prom aspect, I wish I graduated and, walked the stage and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But, like, I got my GED the same time everybody else graduated. Okay. So for me,
gotcha.
It was whatever.
It was like, what's the point?
Yeah.
All right.
But, no, I was in the middle of saying seek therapy a lot sooner.
Do you feel like you would have been receptive to it?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, at 15, what does therapy look like for you?
Shit. Hell yeah. Yeah. My family household, we went through something when I was like 15 going on 16. I ended up just a mess. Ended up leaving the household or whatever. Was staying with my aunts and them for a little bit. And in order for us to bring the household back together, we had to go through therapy, family counseling together. And
How successful was that?
For me, I feel like it was more beneficial than anything, but for the totality of everybody, like, I think it was like a surface level, what they call it, like pacifying the situation. It was something like that.
Little Band-Aid.
People needed to then, after that, go and seek their own therapy. Like, it should have been something. I feel like from a parent aspect, it was more so like, all right, let's just do this shit, get it done and over with, whatever the case is. Like,
it's like kind of like when you get in trouble. And like, hey, let's do community service.
My stepfather didn't even do it with us. It was like my mom and my siblings. Like, he was a key part of the disconnect. You know?
Got you.
But anyhow, I say that to say, like, at that point in time, honestly, like, it's kind of like how I am now. Like, I was just an open book. Like, whoever would be willing to really talk and listen and try to help me out. Like, I was receptive to and comfortable.
I don't think therapy would have I absolutely know therapy would not have worked for me at a younger age. I just lived under a household that was like, this happens in this house, stays in this house. And I would have been more fearful of anything that I said to anyone else getting back to my parents or grandparents or whomever than actually feeling like I was being helped. And I know that's not a good way to think, but that's the way.
No, it's just the reality.
It's just the reality of how I lived. It was just like, nah. Because there was a moment of time when my grandmother, like, was mean. Like, she was really, really fucking mean to the point where I would get what I now know to be anxiety before I went home. It's like, because there's no telling what mood she's in. But it is actually, she had a thyroid issue. She had hypothyroidism, so it fucks up your mood and all that stuff. We didn't know that at the time. I just thought, God damn, she hates me. Like, it was really bad. Like, I used to be scared. Like, people would, like, knock on my door. Go, walk, come out and play. Nigga, I'll be outside when I'm outside. Never knock on this door because she's going to take that shit out on me. She would take that shit out on everyone in the house. But she had, like, a real health issue. But, nah, that woman finding out that I was telling a therapist something, nah, I don't think I've been on this podcast.
I can see.
Do you think, okay, so your thing is not necessarily the therapist side of things, but more so what happens if...
Yeah, what happens if that, which probably would have helped me tremendously, I believe, but I just know that realistically I would have had to go back home. And especially like something like group therapy, if like we're together and I'm like telling some business that probably should have said. Oh, that would have been... No,
I think that was... And it's even crazy to hear that, right, said out loud, because that was how we were raised.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one of my cousins got beat by a few people in the family because they told that their parent was abusive. Yeah, and everybody, like, do we not hear how crazy that sounds?
Yeah,
I told
that's wild.
somebody
that I was being abused.
So and all you guys
and my
lined
response
up.
to it was, let's abuse her more.
Yeah,
how dare
like
you
that,
tell people you're being abused?
Yeah,
now you're
fucking
being
crazy.
abused. It's
crazy.
an absolutely crazy concept, but it's like it's also a survival tactic to make sure that you know, play whatever game that you're. Because at the end of the day, it's like I gotta go home.
I hate to, like, you know me, I gotta always bring it somewhere else. It makes me stop and wonder, like, where these ways of living stem from, right? And
we know.
What do y'all?
You know, these are traits that are handed down from
master.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Like, those are definitely traits. Because here's the thing. It's such a universal thing. We see this shit on a meme, and, like, people from all across the goddamn United States be like, my mother was the same. Your mother don't know my mother.
Right.
But she was whooping ass just the same. It's like, this is clearly taught. It's like as American as apple pie. Like, it's unfortunate, but that is a lot of the black experience. So it's funny that, and this is kind of like a sidebar, when we see people that live decent lives and we're like, you're not black because they wasn't getting their ass beat or being abused. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, that shouldn't be your experience in life, whatever color you are.
Right.
But it's like to like lose your black card because you didn't struggle. Or, you know what I mean? It's fucking ridiculous. Because I would have loved, because for me, like, I wish, to bring it back, that I would have spoken to my 21-year-old self and told.
But I like the 15-year-old self thing too, though.
Yeah, I mean, even my 15-year-old self,
because it's younger, it's more adolescence, it's more.
I just had a horrible relationship with my mother, but I also was afraid to, like, have a real conversation. Was I able to? I think I could have had a very adult conversation with my mother at 15, but it would have turned into stay in a child's place and out of adult's face, which is not necessarily, because they had all the rhymes.
Yes, yes.
If you want,
there was the original rapper.
I said this other day at Thanksgiving. I'm like, y'all know y'all was the original rappers.
I'm telling you,
y'all always have some rhymes for some shit when it comes to kids getting out your face. But yeah, like, it was always that, and it wasn't until I was literally an adult where me and my mother had, like, a good relationship, and that was more so on my behalf because it was like she's super stubborn, and I don't know if that's a Virgo trait or whatever, because I'm not really sure about how astrology works, but I know that was one of the most stubborn women ever. But I wasn't afraid to, like, challenge her as an adult. As a kid, absolutely not, because my mother was what we call heavy-handed, and she used to beat my ass. No bullshit. I remember one time, and I think I told you guys this story, I had snitched on her to my grandmother because she had hit me for whatever reason, probably something stupid. So my grandmother got on, don't you hit my baby, da, da, da. So I go home from school, my cousins are there, my aunt's there. She's like, oh, you told grandma I hit you, huh? With a closed fist, she punched me in the face, and my nose started bleeding. And
That's crazy.
Tell her that. My grandmother never found out.
Nigga said shit.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I got the message.
So the message is clear.
Yeah.
What happens at home stays at home.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like, my mother was she just wasn't very maternal. And I think a lot of that had to do with, like, her relationship with my dad, who was a piece of shit. But it's like, I ain't asked to be here, so you need to step up your game. I remember one time,
my mom too.
My only time I ever went to summer school, I guess, like, she got a letter in the mail. So she yells out, and we lived, like, in, not the projects, but it's like, what do you call the buildings that you lived in Randolph? Like, what was, like, a complex, apartment complex. So, living in a complex, she comes out the porch. I'm with all my friends. She says, you need to come in your ass in there and clean the bathroom. Oh, and your dumb ass got summer school. And I'm just like, really? Like, in front of all my friends?
And your dumbass.
Your dumbass got summer school. I'm like, yo. So that was the relationship with my mom. But also, like I said, she's drug addicted. So when she was high, we was flying high, because she was one of the most kindest people to be around. But when she wasn't high, nigga, It was horrible.
See, my mom is alcohol, so
My mother dealt with alcohol abuse too, but not as bad as her drug abuse.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's so unfortunate. But the thing is, like, as an adult, I can now look at it and have a lot of empathy because I was a very heavy weed smoker, and that was my vice, right? Where hers was whatever was being used in the 70s and 80s, that's what she fell into.
And it wasn't even necessarily. What is a vice? That's like what you use to like.
A vice is something that you
escape.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So they weren't even using. Oh, I don't know. Obviously, like
For my
what
mom,
exactly.
probably.
But at that time, it was like weed to us. It was like, hey, shit, we about to go smoke this crack down the street, like,
Which is crazy.
You know, but that's it's
was the
literally
time.
the reality of the situation. It was literally heroin, same shit. It was literally like, yo, we about to go over here, go to the party. Before we go to the party, we gonna pregame down by the alleyway, and you know,
Good time.
good time, right?
Until it wasn't. And that shit really like fucked my mom up. I remember one time we came home. I was with my grandparents, and we came home, and my grandmother had like one of those 50-inch TVs back in the 90s, which was like super rare, especially for a black family to have. We came home to nothing. My mother sold all that shit.
Oh, yep, everything gotta go.
That shit was gone.
Talk about the original Black Friday. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's
Black Monday, nigga, because it was on a Monday morning. Shit.
And my grandmother had 11 kids, and like obviously she was very angry, but I gave my grandmother a lot of credit for just always being, at least during my time knowing her, she was always a mother. You know, even when
still,
in times like that, I was like, bitch, I'll never speak to you again because you sold and stole all my shit. Like, it was nothing in that living room. I think maybe she left the couch, but everything was
couldn't get it out the door.
Yeah, everything was gone. Nah. And I think she might have had my uncle help because he was also a drug addict. And they were like,
2 for 1 deal. Let's go.
Drug addicts. Like, nah, it was
them kids.
It was really bad. Which is why, like, for me, I know I have an addictive personality, and I think it comes from my mom. So that's why I've never tried hard drugs. Because it's like, if I like this shit, y'all find me out here on Mass.
I've always said that.
So it's like,
and I just heard too many stories. I already know.
I didn't even try smoking weed until I was 27.
That's crazy. Not bad, because I was 20 when I first tried weed.
I was 27. I think it was 27. Yeah, about 27.
What the fuck brought that on?
I don't know. It was 420.
I'm gonna tell you.
No, I wasn't 27. It was 420 2020.
Yeah, that was recently.
2020?
You're talking about the vape, right?
29. Excuse me, 29.
Oh, you was a grown ass man.
I don't think
that was 3 years ago. Yeah, that all happened within like the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
So what was your
my first time?
What was the reason?
I don't know. I just wanted to be cool, I think. Nah.
At 29?
Nah, I'm playing. Nah, it wasn't peer pressure. I was like, I never had, I had a valid reason as to why I didn't try. I didn't want to be like everyone else that was smoking and they couldn't eat without smoking. They couldn't sleep without, I didn't want to do that.
What made you decide to?
I don't know. I think I was just feeling daring.
Yeah, I think if there's any drug for you guys to experiment with, weed is the one, you know?
But you know they say weed is the gateway drug.
All I know is one time, and this is so off a topic, but one time I got them edibles. Remember that?
Yeah. I had.
Oh, you already got it out now.
Yo, listen. One time I had got some edibles from this guy. And
this guy? Did you know this guy?
This guy right here.
Oh, this guy.
That was my first time. Is that incriminating? Nah, not really.
It's weed.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
It's legal.
Listen, I don't know the law about it because I don't really do it. So, but like,
just don't tell whoever you got them from.
I took one gummy. And I was done. I was having a serious conversation with Day. I forget, it was something really pressing, and I remember like,
I already know
doing that right there. I just started laughing.
Oh, I know.
And I'm like, oh, like in my head, I'm like, yo, she's being serious. Like, you gotta like. And I was like holding it in, bro. I was holding it so bad. I started laughing, and I apologized. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry. The edible kicking in, like, and she's like, oh, nah, it's cool. So we stopped talking, and then like 20 minutes later, I remember being laid in the bed, and I had my legs crossed like this right here. I think I had my hands up. I don't know why my hands was up, but they was up. When Prince closer, I don't know why my hands was up, but they was up. And then I think I tried to get out the bed and I couldn't lift this leg over the other leg. And I was stuck.
Yeah, there's some good ass edibles.
Bro, I was stuck. I was stuck. So what I did was I had an Oreo. I could reach it. I grabbed the Oreo instead of. No, I put the Oreo in my mouth, right? I'm trying to eat it. Mouth dry as hell. So then I took the Oreo out my mouth, but like this. Like I tried to bring my head to my hand.
Yeah, no, I could already imagine the slow motion. Yeah,
And Day was right there. I'm like, yo, call the cops, call somebody, no. I said, call Dell.
He did. Yeah, I remember.
I said, call Dell. He gave me this shit. I called him like, yo, bro, what's going on? What you give me? He's like, nah, bro.
Nigga,
He's like, yo, you're good.
Wait, you took a single edible?
One.
Damn, you got.
I've had. No.
It was like that was my second intake of anything. So I smoked, I think, one time, and then I had an edible my second time.
It was the pyramids, right?
Pyramids.
Yeah, them things.
And it was a whole one.
Yeah.
And he's like, damn, bro, you should have took half. I was like, dog, I ate it already. And I was done. I couldn't move. I was crying.
You were really crying?
Crying.
So
What a hoe. No,
my shorty's mom
I thought I was done forever, by the way.
wanted some edibles, right?
I thought he was brain dead.
I told her, I'm like, yo, tread lightly. Like, these things.
You gotta be a little bit more clarified than tread lightly.
No.
'Cause if
I
Eden
was very clear. Because at that moment, I was just, I had edibles for myself, my own consumption that I was giving to people. Just giving them out for free. I didn't even want anything back. Just giving them out.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
So she asked for some, and I told her, yo, like, you need to take it easy. Like, there was the Rice Krispie bars or treats or whatever. Yo, just eat a little bit at a time. Wait 45 minutes, like, it should start kicking in or whatever. If anything, take a little bit more, but you don't need to eat this whole bar. I made that very clear. Moderation is key. I would tell everybody that. Moderation is key.
You told me that. I ain't listen.
Tell me why, maybe an hour or two later, we get a FaceTime from her mom.
Oh, my God.
Mind you now, I want to say, like, I think her mom has a very low haircut, borderline bald, right? So FaceTime, camera, all you see. You know how Amara be hopping on the
forehead and eyes.
And all. She's just forehead with nothing but sweat bullets coming down. So we're like,
The mom?
yes. All we hear is her breathing like this over the phone. we're like, yo, are you good? She's like, call the ambulance. Sweat dripping, forehead.
Hey, yo.
Call the ambulance. So Sergeant's like, Mom, like, what's wrong? Are you good? I can't breathe. Call the ambulance. So it's to the point where I'm like, oh, shit, we got to go over there. I got to take the evidence. Like, we going to call the ambulance too, but like, nah. Bro, gets to the hospital.
Oh, so she went?
No, she went to the hospital.
Oh, my God.
Y'all didn't get no water?
Man, water. She had everything. Soda, like everything. Yeah, nothing was working. They said she overdosed on marijuana.
That's the thing.
Wait, so you can?
Yes.
Oh, that's what I did.
No, yeah, more than likely.
Bro, I was done. And then the next day, I still wasn't all the way there.
Wasn't you that same time? Wasn't you overly emotional too? Did you like start laughing so hard to the point you started crying?
Nah, I was crying. I don't know if I was laughing or not.
Yeah, he said,
But
I was
know
definitely crying.
I was definitely crying.
He left that part out. Yeah,
Ugly face.
Like, what?
I couldn't talk like regular, bro. I was done, bro.
Oh, I would love to see that.
I was apologizing.
I'm glad
I'm
that you got
sorry.
through that.
I'm sorry.
So if you could tell your 29-year-old self anything, what you told him to not take that edible?
Nah, I'll say do that shit again.
You know what's funny? I tried weed for my first time at 20, and the reason why I did, mine is a lot more morbid. My house had burned down a few months prior, and I was just like, I could have died, which I really could have, because
to die without trying weed, that's some shit.
Yeah, so it was just really one of those things. I mean, I wasn't gonna be like, let me try crack because I almost died, but it was like, I'm willing to try weed. Like all my friends are doing it. I just used to be super judgy back then. I'm like, yo niggas are good. Y'all all y'all do is get high and go to sleep.
That was
so
me.
I just never wanted to try it. But after dying, I'm like, might as well.
I said after dying. What you say?
He did say after dying.
Almost dying.
Oh, he said after dying.
You said after dying.
Oh, did I say dying? Well, almost dying. No, because
I was about to say, nigga, who are you right now?
I really almost died because that house fire was crazy. But
That's crazy.
yeah, I tried it and I actually didn't feel anything, but I felt like I didn't want to waste my friend's weed, so I was like faking like I was high. But then when I really got high, that shit was awful. So,
Ooh, you ever have the pins all over your body, the needles?
bro, let me tell you what happened.
Oh,
right,
man.
One of my friends passed away playing basketball on the basketball court. He used to go to the John D. O'Brien, and the rumor was that he had
I'm not laughing at that.
bad weed. So
That's a fucked up rumor. They just fucked up whoever was selling drugs at that moment.
So that was the rumor. He had took bad weed and wound up dying on the basketball court. It actually happened that he had an enlarged heart. But so we all went
Fucked
to the
up the
wake.
plug's bag.
And during the wake, my friend passes out, but he's also super high and it's hot as shit in the wake. So he's passes out, and I'm like, yo, I can't take this shit. Like niggas is dropping like flies. Like, what
the
is
weed.
happening?
They done fucked up DeAndre's bag. That's fucked up. Niggas
We
stop
go to
buying
my
from him.
man's crib after the wake, and now they're talking about how he could have possibly died, and yeah, we think it was the weed. So this is kind of maybe my third time smoking, but I'm getting high this time. So now I'm in my head imagine if this shit's laced too. Nigga, we're all about to die. So I'm fucking panicking, but I'm trying to keep it to myself. So I'm like, yo, bro, where's the bathroom? But in my mind, I'm like, I'm fucking, I am freaking out. So I go to the bathroom and I'm like, get your shit together. I'm splashing my face, talking to myself, what the fuck is wrong with you? And you know what I did after I finally did get my shit together? They was over here oh, you was in there taking a shit. I'd rather you think I was taking a shit
than what was really going
on there. So I just went with that.
And my stomach.
I smoked more weed. That's why I know peer pressure is the worst type of pressure.
Nah, it is. It's like drinking too. Even when alright, I'm past my limit, but they're more shots, and it's I know that I should stop, but fuck it.
That was me day before yesterday.
Yeah, but at least you was in a comfortable environment.
Yeah. Yeah, but yo, one of the shorties, and we had just met her, she threw up everywhere, all over the blankets, everything. It was really bad.
She would have had to sleep on the porch or something. I
don't even know where she slept. It was a mess. But all right, getting back to what we were talking about, because that was crazy.
That was wild. That was a wild little.
Yeah. Another advice I would also give myself is just do shit for yourself and not for everyone else. I know that you said that, but I was very much one of, I don't know if that's a Leo trait. We're both Leo.
Yeah, maybe.
What is the word? Because my grandmother would be like, don't be a flunky.
Wait, hold on. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because this guy just said, I don't know if that's a Virgo thing because I'm not really into astrology. But then follows up with when it's a Leo. Nigga knows everything when it's Leo.
First off, let me clarify what I said. What I said was, I don't really understand it.
Okay.
That's what I said. So I said, I don't know if that's a Leo quality.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
don't
fair.
mince my words. But anyway.
I heard him snicker. I was like, all right.
Fuck you, my friend. But nah, so I was one of those people that really just, because for me it was more so not really aiming to please. It's the better on the side of good I'm on your good side, then I'm not getting yelled at for some stupid shit. So it was just it was just easier to, because one, I was in foster care, right? So for those who don't know, I was born drug addicted. I was in foster care from 8 months until 5 years old. I was actually about to be adopted by my Puerto Rican family from the Bronx. I actually did not speak any English until I was 4 and a half, 5. My grandmother got me from foster care from the Bronx, brought me back to Boston. So I didn't know any of these people.
You spoke Spanish?
I spoke nothing but Spanish. Now I would get a straight F in Spanish, which is crazy. The story is my mother beat the Spanish out of me. She's like, nigga, you ain't Spanish, you black.
Don't speak that shit here.
So
he's like, muy leche.
And she's like, no, nigga, drink this milk. So yeah, I can't stand this nigga.
Yo.
But Yeah, so like I didn't really know these people. Like, you know what I mean? They were like strangers to me. So like now I'm getting yelled at by these random people that I just met like a few months or a year or so ago, and it's just like, all right, how do I stay on their good side? So I would just try to do everything right, and that's kind of how I fell into that space. But now it's like, fuck that. Like, y'all gonna have to kind of bend to my will a little bit. I'm definitely down with compromise, but the way growing up was crazy. And my grandmother and my mom were really like close. So every time I got in trouble twice.
Yep.
So it was like, that shit was not fun. So I was just like, let me just be the best kid possible. But I'd still fuck up. I'm a kid, like, but I was used to get my ass beat by my mother. My grandmother would like pop my lips. She popped my lips by syllable. Didn't I tell you to shut the fuck up? I'm like, I hope you don't have nothing else to say.
Right.
I got you. Understood. So I would definitely tell myself, but I became a lot more rebellious when I was like a teenager. Like I remember one time, like my grandmother always be like, "Oh, I have to chastise you," and I'm like, "It's chastise." So she
knock you upside your head just for that one.
She was like, "So no, we went back and forth a little bit." So this is what made she kicked me out the crib because I had like a dictionary in my room and I like went to chastise and I'm like, "Read it, it's chastise, not chastise. Chest is with an E, not an A." Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Go ahead. No.
Yeah, so I was one of those kids, like, as a teenager. And teenagers do suck, so I'm pretty sure I was a horrible teenager. But I would say to myself, like, hey, like, don't be bending to everybody's wills. Like, you have your own, like, person.
Right.
Like, yeah, it was
to
not,
please and make happy with
besides
decisions.
But again, I didn't know these people, so I'm like, all right, to not get my ass beat, let me just do what they ask.
I would say one for me that really, I think we talked about this before, but like just being exclusive with my body. I feel like that right there alone, if I could go back to when I was 15 to say, yo, bro, listen, you ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't for you. Man.
Yep.
Man.
I felt that.
Do you believe in transference of energy through sex?
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you believe that people have transferred to you over the time negative energy that you still carry?
Yes. And I say that, I mean, I don't want to get into too many details, but
Nah, get into the details.
get into the details. I actually seen, I think it was Mike Todd or someone, one of those pastors that I follow on Instagram. They
Prebiotics.
That's that.
yeah. Nah, it's starting to do it. The prenatals.
Oh my God.
Mike Todd, he was talking about like, yo, like before you get married, you know, you should basically cleanse yourself from everybody that you've ever had dealings with before. It's not fair to your partner, to your spouse, to carry the baggage from everybody else. And it just dawned on me, like, I mean, that's great advice, but what the fuck does that mean?
I was gonna add. That was my next question. How do you do that?
Like, that just reminded me of all of them Instagram people that give you all the advice to stop eating everything, stop drinking everything.
And don't tell you what to eat or
replace it with.
Yeah.
They're like, go to Google.
No, they're like, hit the link in my bio and subscribe, and I'll give you more tips.
Exactly. For
Like, what the fuck?
$135. Like,
Yeah, nah.
Nice.
I'ma just.
That's a good point.
No, that's valid because it's like, I mean,
What are the steps?
What are the steps? What does that look like?
yeah, because how do you do that? And it's like, is this in a physical way? Obviously. Is this in an emotional way? Like, there's so many ways that you would have to remove yourself from that. Like, mentally, like, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about that girl. Her head is crazy. Like,
Mentally, like, man, listen.
I mean, these are all things that you might have to let go. Amar, you know what I'm talking about.
She got some letting go to do.
You got some letting go to do.
Like, speaking of. But no, it's like,
That's a good one.
Actually,
that's a good one. Exclusivity. I know we talk about that a lot because you just kind of, I mean, and 15 would have been the perfect time.
That's the perfect time.
Because like, that's like before, like, I mean, you might have been, you know what I mean? But that's before you got real active.
Taken advantage of prior, but then you take control back at that age. Yeah. It's like, you know what?
Yeah, at 15, it was like 3 times a day.
What was 3 times a day?
I was having sex 3 times a day at 15 years old.
At 15?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. A day?
A day.
I might have been masturbating 3 times a day.
Oh no. It wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, I was on house arrest, so I had nothing else to do.
No. This guy, especially at that time, yeah,
I was just,
savage.
First off, all right, get the camera back on him. You're on house arrest.
yes.
Not at 15. Was you?
Yeah, 15. 15.
So I'm assuming these are during
Damn. So
school
now I
hours,
was like,
He was like 12 or something,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was riding bikes up and down the street, basketball, and
not having sex. He's like, no, me too.
Yeah. I
fact that you
like I
think
haven't.
is
No, because there's a situation, and
I was
I've been
definitely
wanting
not.
to talk about it a little bit, but like it's crazy.
That's fair. He's like, I'm very well
Wait,
versed.
so what was you about to say?
So my question to you, these women or girls that were coming to your apartment at the time, these were during school hours.
His mama's house.
in
Get
my
it
mama's
right.
house.
Yeah.
And it was just I had one girlfriend.
Oh, it was one girl.
At this particular time, it was one girl.
Okay, I can appreciate that a little.
But I think it was just
Was she like skipping school? Like, what was your effect on her? Was
Oh,
she like
man.
doing what she wasn't supposed to do in order to get satisfied?
yeah, whenever.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Like,
well, she
instead of being in school, she's having sex with him
wasn't
3
she still
times a
going
day.
to
yeah, every now and yeah, she would. No,
I
she
was about to say
graduated. Like she didn't get like she wasn't kept back and like that. She went to school enough to pass.
Since she
But,
ride that
like,
bike up and
but
down
she-
that
but she
street to
would-
that curb. What?
But she would
She was riding a bike?
bike.
Oh, damn. That's usually what a nigga would do.
Yeah, nah, she sis was riding a bike.
bruh. I
This is
would
the
I would
Giovanni
have
with
did it.
braids,
I
too.
would have did it.
Well, he still got braids, but
I would have did it, but I
true.
was on house arrest, so you know what I'm saying.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, house arrest was for me.
Oh, so y'all both was on house arrest.
Not at the same time, but yeah, I have unfortunately experienced that, and yeah, savagery.
I had a chins,
Savagery.
guys. I'm not as gangster as these guys. You know what a chins is?
Yeah, they like shit, yo ass,
Yeah, you didn't go to school, but it wasn't like I was just like super sick as a kid. So I was just like, yeah, not today. My grandma was like, all right, stay home.
Oh damn.
But yeah, y'all was grown.
Y'all was bugging out.
Okay, hold on. So
That's not because we're talking about it, and it's not something that we're bragging.
Oh yeah,
No, no, I know.
yeah.
And this is not
Because
a.
it can be misconstrued.
Yeah, I don't want to come off as a brag. I actually want to add to that. How much of your experience in that time frame, let's just go from 15 for both of you guys, was based on peer pressure? Because when I first had sex, it wasn't based on me wanting to have sex. I was just like, everyone else is having sex.
For
Yes,
me,
it's time to have sex.
peer pressure. I was when I was like 13, I was trying.
Okay. Definitely not for me.
Yeah, I mean because it
One
was
of
like
goofy ass looking kids.
but
So I know
I was hanging out with a bunch of like older, like all my friends were older, so they was already fucking and stuff like, you know what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, I'm trying to relate to what y'all talking about.
Yeah.
Like I don't, you know
There's
what I
a
mean.
lot of that for me too, honestly.
For me, it was a lot sadder.
Elaborate.
That's not.
Why am I laughing?
Grab the tissue.
I'm sorry.
Man,
So bad.
yeah, I was already fucking. My mind was already gone. Yeah, so for me, my mind was already long gone at
115.
what age are we talking about?
15.
Started 15. Long gone. Long gone.
Well, I was gonna mention again me not going to prom, and then kind of tying it into the last thing that you said about like, I guess people pleasing a little bit too. Was like, Shorty was pregnant with Micah when my prom came. I didn't want to bring her, but I also felt like I would be wrong to go to prom
With someone
With
else.
someone pregnant.
with someone pregnant or as a
with
married
someone
man
else.
by myself. Like I was married in high school.
So what was your reason for? Was it because she was pregnant that you didn't want her to go?
Both.
Yeah, definitely because.
And this is obviously
And it was like, no, she was like
years ago.
pregnant. Like it wasn't
For
like
the people
little,
out there and be like, "Oh my God, how could he do that to a pregnant woman?"
Oh yeah, I was guys. I was 18. I was my senior year of high school, and yeah,
So you didn't go to junior prom either? What was the reason for that?
I ain't doing none of that.
I didn't either.
nothing,
My
bro.
reason is because ain't nobody was going with me. I was not.
Oh no, I had options for
I was
sure.
not it. I wouldn't have went with me neither.
I had some options, but nah. Damn. If I could go back, I would have went to prom. Yo, stay home.
I went to college.
That's wrong?
Life.
That's not wrong, right? I'm asking Amara because she's the only woman.
Honestly,
in the room.
like, I'm kind of glad that I skipped out on a few of those things. Not prom, but definitely like the dorm life. Just from a financial standpoint, if you can't afford it, it's really one of the worst decisions that you can make.
That's the only clutch thing that, in hindsight, I could look back. And the reality of the situation is, a degree just doesn't hold the weight that it once held before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it ever did, to be honest.
If I were to go back, because I feel like intellectually, I could have absolutely got a scholarship.
Same.
Like, I definitely knew what to do to get a scholarship, but I did not enjoy school. So it was not.
I heard that all the time. If you just tighten up. I'm just like,
I was
man.
like, you could strangle me and I wouldn't tighten up. Like, I don't know how tight you want this, but I don't like coming here. I don't enjoy the people. I don't fit into this crowd. I hated everything about high school. It was not an enjoyable experience for me. People always post online like, "Oh, what was were you the loser in high school? Or were you the popular one?" And I'm always very honest. I was not it. I hated high school.
I thought it was rather traumatic for you.
It wasn't a traumatic experience. It was just a forced one. Like, I did not want to do it, but I knew I had to. And it was like, once I was able to drop out, I did. Because I didn't
once I got the green light.
Yeah, like, nah. And the reason why I really dropped out of high school is because my grandmother kicked me out the house, and I wound up staying with my aunt. And she didn't make me pay, but it was just like, I was in a situation where I just didn't feel comfortable living for free. Mm-hmm. So I got a job. Mm-hmm. And then when I got a job, I was making more money than my aunt. So I was like,
yeah.
And this is in 2005. I'm making like $19 an hour. So it's like,
oh, you was rich.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, school.
Rich.
What are you doing?
5, you was making 19 an hour?
Because I worked for the Department of Revenue. And then I moved over to ComputerShare, like selling stocks and stuff.
Yeah, I was at ComputerShare too.
Yeah, ComputerShare it had its moments.
Yeah,
it was just at 19.
But yeah, at 19. So it was just like, why would I ever want to go back to school? I would have bought
everything.
I'm going to finish school to work here.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? It was like, I already did that. So, you know what I mean? So it was just like, it didn't make any sense. But yeah, like, if I could go back, I would have really just gotten a scholarship. Because I know we say degrees don't hold as much weight, but if we're looking at like numbers, people who have degrees just make more
money, right?
Yeah, statistically.
Well.
See how I said that? Statistically.
Yeah. Nice job. You want to clap on the back? That was shots at last week's episode.
It's a coin toss today.
But yeah, I don't
Absolutely
necessarily agree. I think that. And as you were talking, I was thinking about what else I would tell myself, which is there's other avenues where you can make the same amount of money and be just as successful or even more successful. Like today, it's way different. Like if you go to my daughter's school right now, all you see they have a whole wall of all of the different avenues that are options. It's not just college anymore.
Yeah. Thank God.
You know, and I mean, when I tell you this wall, I'm like, word, I'm happy. They got cosmetology, they got plumbing, they got electrician, all kind of stuff. It wasn't painted. That picture was not painted for us like that.
Yeah.
It was like college.
But also, we got to understand that they're just in a different space of technological access than we ever had, right? Whereas, like, some of those jobs obviously the jobs you name were available, but some of the jobs that are available now didn't even exist 20 years ago.
Some, yeah, but most of, and again, the things that I'm thinking, and where we were as, like, the world.
Yeah, as a society.
As a society is a perfect term or phrase. Yeah. It was literally to get a degree, work, like to be in that mindset of,
you know, actually, I feel like college fucked themselves over with that aspect because if college made it more affordable, more people would have went that route. Yeah. But it's like, you know, going to the hospital in an ambulance versus
the crazy thing is that I can't
afford one of them, so I'm going to do the other one.
Right.
It was like back in the day, you could go to like a 4-year degree at like $2,000. Now,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like back then, at one point, it was affordable.
Yeah, now that shit is an investment.
Yep.
You hear about people from freaking 1925 that went to Harvard, regular
for $42.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
No, dead ass. Yeah. Now here, you can't even buy a book. with that $2,000. Like you can't even buy all your books or anything, and that's like it's such a business. Like it, you know what I mean? Like before, like higher education really felt like it meant something. Now you have access to all the education. If you could build a curriculum for yourself, you would absolutely not need college. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't, because you have access to all the same information. You know what I mean? Like,
and I don't think the information, how do I say this? The information is obviously important, right? But it's not as important as the application of that information.
Agreed.
Now, I seen something the other day where a dude was saying, like, I feel like financial literacy is overhyped.
Shit.
And I'm listening, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, nah, because you can learn a lot. You could have all the financial literacy in the world. It doesn't mean that you're going to make money.
I don't think it's about making money when I align financial literacy, though. It's really about how to keep your money, not how to make it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Because I know for a fact that I have one of those situations where I'm like, I emotionally spend. Yeah, I feel down. I want to buy something to make me feel better.
OnlyFans.
Get out. Get out. But no, I really do have it. And I love technology, so I'll be like, yeah, I need a new thing I need a new lens. I don't need it. But I'm gonna immaturely spend this money because I have it. It's definitely something that people that are more financially literate don't have to go through. If I was more financially literate, I would have a life insurance right now. If I was more financially literate, I would have a 401k building up right now, a Roth IRA. That's what I think about when I think about financial literacy. It has nothing to do with making money. The money that you are making, where are you putting it? Like, how many people actually take 30% of their checks and actually put it in a savings? I know my black ass don't, because that's not how money works for me.
Is it 30% you supposed to do?
I think it's 30%. I could be. Was that too high? No, maybe
Both of those are too high.
I put about $20.
No, 10.
It's 10%.
No, 10.
Oh, my fault.
I'm definitely hyperbolizing the numbers. But even so, like, it's hard for me to even do the 10 some weeks because, again, I live paycheck to paycheck, and that's based on the...
And realistically, it shouldn't even be in the savings. It should be into an investment.
But that's what I'm saying. But if you're not financially literate, you wouldn't know that.
Right. You would just be putting it in a savings in a bank with inflation.
With a small APY of like 1%.
Yeah.
That's not making any money.
No, 0.01%.
0.01, yeah.
And inflation.
Yeah.
So you're losing money.
Right, because the dollar's not even worth $1. And that's another thing about financial literacy. You have $1, you think you have $1. $1's not worth $1. You know what I mean? So financial literacy is definitely more than being able to make money. Whoever said that is a damn fool.
I wanted to actually play it just so, and then we can wrap this thing up, guys. I've had fun with you today.
Yeah, and I'm glad y'all niggas got dressed, and I'm over here in sweatpants. Next time y'all need to tell me I have nice jeans too.
The next time we need to tell you.
Shit, got me out here looking like I'm about to go.
You got you out here.
Y'all, we're a team, ain't we?
I think you look good, man.
Nigga, that's what they say when they already know they fucked up.
Put it in the mic.
Is overrated. I really do. Because you can learn a lot of the wrong stuff. There's a lot of information that sounds good and makes no money. That was it?
Yeah.
Get this nigga the fuck
Yo, get him, yo.
Get this nigga the fuck out. I'm not. I hear what he's saying because you can learn a lot of wrong stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that you not like. One of the main things you just said is putting in an investment versus savings. Most people don't know that. Most people know checking savings. They don't know anything about investments. They don't know anything about like if you
but then we got to be real because the other aspect of that, right? As I said to you at the very beginning, there's information, right? But then there's an application of the information.
But I can't apply something I don't know.
Well, I just put you onto something, right? Chances are all of us in this room are going to leave this room and not
do the thing.
Yeah,
that's fair. But it's like the likelihood of
we're still going to be savings and shit like that.
The likelihood of me doing it without knowing versus me knowing is 100% when I don't know versus another percentage that isn't 100% if I do know. And that's what I'm saying. Like even something as simple as life insurance. You can borrow against life insurance. You don't have to die to get money from it. You know what I mean?
Life insurance, man. And that's a whole nother podcast. Yeah. I would love for us to be able to find somebody out here who's really about that life.
I know someone.
Might know a few.
Yeah, I know a couple.
Okay.
Some financial advisors for sure. With that being said, are we kicking it out?
Yes, get them out of here.
Everything, brother.
All right. Well, that was the episode of the Nun The Wizer podcast. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching with us. Again, we have my guy, Trip. We got our guy, Podcast Poe, and yours truly, Walk. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like on all of our social medias. We got
Share
the
that
TikTok,
junk.
we got the Instagram. Absolutely share. Yeah, share. Please comment. Tell us what you would like us to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Also, if you guys have any tips or things, what's the word I'm looking for? Advice that you would give yourself 15 years ago, please drop them in the comments.
Yeah.
We would love to hear.
But with that being said, we out.
We out of here.
Nun The Wizer.